the camera did catch you, Jaylon, after your second interception, talking to yourself. You were down on one knee, you were on the sideline, your helmet was off, and you seemed to be talking, pumping yourself up or self-affirmation. I'm not really sure. Can you take us through that moment?
Nah, I wasn't talking to myself. I was having a moment with God. Honestly, I feel like it's been so much. I think even off the field, been so much of I feel like self development, me trying to just grow as a man, me trying to grow spiritually, mentally, emotionally, just try to really be who God called me to be. I think from the inside out, and just been working on me and humbling me. And I think just after that moment, it's never been a time where I prayed that God, let me get interceptions or God, let me do this. But it's always just been like, God, just show me what you have for me. And then in that moment, the last few weeks, the way, in a sense, the season, just all the talks with the contract stuff, just everything I feel like around me has been I feel like so heavy. And I think for God to just put me in those positions, just give me those opportunities to make those plays and for it to come out, I think just in that moment, it was just like I wanted to take time to myself to just really just thank him for just showing me, just thank him for being good to me. And it's more than interceptions, but just in that light. And I mean, of course, everybody knows it's been how long, how many interceptions I've had in my career. Just for it to be in that moment, I think it just hit me all at once. But I mean, just my original question, because I mean, I had sat in the mirror just before the game. I was talking to myself, just talking to myself, just talking to myself. And I mean, I'm glad that I'm pretty consistent in what I say to myself, because some of the things that I said, just talking about my hard work, just knowing and believing in who I am, man. And it's like a lot of people don't see. I mean, hardly anybody. I'm not even saying a lot, but hardly anybody sees the work that I put in, and I put a lot into it, man. And it's just in that moment to get those two interceptions, my first career pick six. I mean, it was just a lot that all goes into it, man. But just to be open and honest, it was a lot on me emotionally.
So Jaylon Johnson sitting there in gratitude to God in that moment after that all happens. It's so interesting, Jaylon, because we talked about it earlier in the year. If you want to get paid like a top corner, you need more splash plays, right? And those kind of things. But the way you play, you even referenced it yesterday. You want to stay sound as a cover corner and not be a gambler trying to get those splash plays and then maybe get beat because you do. So you kind of got to hope that the situation presents itself. And yesterday, did you feel like you still were playing true to yourself, but the situation to get the picks did present itself for you?
Oh yeah, 100%. I didn't have to do anything I normally don't do. And honestly, it's funny because I was talking to my brother this morning. He's the one who does a lot of work with me, footwork, just working on my body and different things. And we were just talking. It's like I didn't make any play that I haven't already like put out there. Like I've had plenty of times where I broke on a route good, and the quarterback looked at him and didn't throw the ball. So I mean, it was just for me, just doing what I normally do, doing what I always do. I mean, I'm a tight coverage guy, and that's something I've shown throughout the duration of my career since I came into the league, is nothing but tight coverage. And it's like sometimes they just don't fall your way. And just for me to make the break on the first one, I mean, that's not a break I haven't made before. That's not a play that I haven't done before. I just had an opportunity to go and catch the ball. And I mean, I have full faith in my hands. I feel like I'm a pretty good catcher when I get the opportunity to show it. But even in the second one, just I practice deep, but catching deep balls. I catch the jugs, the deep ball jugs. I catch after practice with the quarterbacks and different things like that. And then seeing the deep ball, I'm like, okay, he's giving me a gift today, right here. I'm getting blessed today with these, and then just go on and catching it. Just felt all of it felt routine. It's nothing that I had to force to do or feel like, okay, let me try to do this and get outside of who I am. It all just came forward for me.
All right, so let's talk celebrations. Did you know before the game, if you got one, you were going to make it rain?
I was thinking about it a lot. Honestly, pick six wasn't in my head. I was just like, man, I like my hands on someone. Got to figure out what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do. And I just got in my head like, just like, nah, I'm not even thinking about interception. Just nah, just go out here and just lock up. And then when I got the interception, I'm like, I don't know where honestly I don't know where it came from, but I'm like, nah, I gotta pop my helmet off. I gotta let the world see me, and I gotta make it known, man. That everybody knows what season it is, what time it is already. So I mean, it was only right.
It was hilarious.
Stare down was good on the second one too. The stare down was strong.
Yeah, nah, I got a heck of a stare down.
I mean, were you worried about a penalty taking your helmet off on the field?
Not at all. No quit. Nah. I almost took on the first one. I don't know if you seen. I almost took it off too early.
I saw.
Like, nah, I gotta wait till I get closer to the camera. But now that was honestly no fear. I know I was locked in, but I heard a lot of my teammates like, grab his helmet, put his helmet back on, put his helmet back on. So I mean, just for me, it was like, nah. I mean, we at that point the game was sealed. So it was. I mean, if we got the penalty, I mean, I probably would have heard it from coach and things like that. So I mean, for me, honestly, it was like, man, I'm already here.
So you said after the game that, of course, it was a statement that you want to be paid and you want to be paid like an elite guy. We've talked to you about that. We know you well enough. That did not surprise us at all. Are talks happening? Like, are you and the Bears currently negotiating a contract extension?
Yeah, I mean it's a process. It's a process, but things are, I would say, starting to hopefully start to ramp up. We'll see kind of where things go, especially in this next week and less than a half, just before the trade deadline. I mean, you never know what can happen beforehand, but just looking forward to see where things go. Because I mean, to me, it's different than just talking and really just okay. Well, let's try to figure something out. Let's try to figure something out versus things getting done. So I mean, I'm just looking forward to see what actually gets done.
Right. So are you under the assumption that if a contract extension doesn't happen by the 31st, that then you would play the rest of the year and hit free agency? Is that your assumption on the timeline?
Honestly, I don't have any assumptions on the timeline because I mean, it can be one of those things where something doesn't get figured out. You can get traded. It can be one of those things where something doesn't get figured out. You play the rest of the year, hit free agent. You can play the rest of the year and maybe get a franchise tag. I mean, there's so many not even opportunities. There's so many different things that can happen, possibilities. So, I mean, I'm not under the assumption of anything. I'm just looking forward to see where it plays out at and kind of what business gets handled.
Okay, yeah, because a lot of people are like, oh, the Roquan thing, like those contracts broke down, and that's why he got traded. So I think Bears fans would be very happy to know that your representatives and the Bears are talking. They are working on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that is good.
Yeah, because there's been this fear. We were talking about it before the show that might have been your last game at Soldier Field. There's no more home games before the deadline comes. Jaylon, did that enter your mind at all yesterday?
Honestly, yeah, 100%. I mean, I think for me, even too, just like going around giving the fans high fives, like you never know. And like I've said before, I'm not oblivious. I'm not exempt. So I mean, I think for me, just if that is my last game, I know I definitely went out with a hell of a bang, and of course, show love to the fans, the city, and just the stadium in general. I definitely know for me, it wasn't anything that was overlooked or I'll just be like, nah, like I don't know. So I mean, just for me, just being able to take it all in and see what happens. And if I'm back, hey, then I'm back like I never left. But if I'm not, then I definitely know that I went out the right way.
Well, you know that we hope that's not the case, and listeners to this show like completely unified in hoping that is not the case.
Yeah, I don't want to have to call you from San Francisco or Dallas or something every Monday at 5. That's not as fun.
Oh yeah, you'll still do it though, right? If you're there.
I promise I'll still show up.
All right, you're the man.
Yeah,
hey, Jaylon Johnson here on Parkins Spiegel, as he has been all year on after game days. Yesterday felt like from the jump you had, I don't know if it's a different edge or a different energy, like with the orange sleeves from the get-go, some very physical play. Not that you don't usually play physical, but you were up and on people to the point that you had a couple penalties called. There's one moment where you kind of shoved Jacoby Myers off the field after he made a catch. You seemed pissed that he made the catch. You said, I would have been too. Your coverage was great. But so from the orange sleeves right away, did you have a different vibe, a different feeling of all right, I'm going to show out today, something different yesterday?
Honestly, 100%. And it's like, I mean, for me, honestly, this year, I would say honestly, since the Kansas City game, it's been a different. It's been a different attitude, a different mindset, a different approach to the game. I think just for me, I want honestly, I want to dominate so bad, and I want to leave no doubt. And I think right now it's a lot of doubt. And I mean, for me, like I don't pay too much to all the outside noise, but I feel like for me, I've been a good player, and I know I'm better than a good player. And I think that I have to bring a different physical element to the game. And I think just of course, this week was no different than any other week, but especially with Devontae coming to town, of course, everybody knows I love and look forward to that matchup. And Jacoby Meyer has had a good, productive year, and just all everything coming in, and people saying they're on force speed and do all these things. And is the Chicago secondary going to hold up? So, I mean, for me, I definitely took that personal. And like I said before the game, I was definitely talking to myself. So I definitely had a different attitude, not even a different, but I've had that mentality, that attitude that I was going to go out here and leave a mark. And it's a certain physical element, a certain mindset that I get into, that I tap into. And I mean, from like you said, from the jump, it was on full effect, just from tackling, the hitting, the reroutes, the putting hands on people, just all of that. To me, it needed to show. And I'm just not playing, like I'm not playing any games. Like I'm not here to be nice, to be cool with anybody. I'm trash talk more than I ever have. Like, no, I'm not. I have to take it up another level, and I'm looking forward to just seeing how much I can really continue to take it up. But it's definitely been a big change, I feel like, mentally, and just how I want to go about dominating this game.
How about the fashion choice after the game? Those earrings and the necklace. I mean, that was like, was that new? Our producer caught it. It was like, I don't know if I've seen Jaylon in that stuff before.
No, I mean, honestly, this year I've been trying to dress up more than I normally have. I'm actually trying to get, not even trying, I'm actually getting more into fashion and just different looks. So I mean, just coming up with I had got the pearl necklace last week, and then I was just trying to figure out, like, okay, dang, like, what kind of wear with it. And then my girlfriend ended up getting me like a pearl earring that went right with the necklace, and then just with the outfit, I had like the vintage long sleeve on, the little rock star vibe jeans, and some Prada little boots and things like that. So I mean, I'm definitely embracing the look. Like, I
Yeah.
put it on.
You're spending the new contract before you have it. I
No,
respect.
no, 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 no. It just look like that. I just make it look good, make it look rich.
That's smart.
Yeah, Danny wore the same thing today to work, and he couldn't quite pull it off.
Yeah,
Man.
that's true. I was
Really
like, I just wanted to
was.
dress up like Jaylon.
Strengths and weaknesses, man. We got to stick to those.
That's true. That's true. So I don't even know how it works. Like, are you allowed to wear orange when everyone else is not? Like, are you going to get fined and just eat it, or is that totally cool?
Honestly, I don't know, but I mean, for me, it was one of those things where it's like, of course, like you're not supposed to do it. So I mean, it's not like I just. I mean, I had some people have some things to say about it, but I mean, honestly, for me, it's like it's not like I wore a dang purple shirt. It was. I mean, I was still within the Bears colors, and I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, of course, we know. Okay, let's try to wear a white shirt, but I mean, sometimes you gotta go against the grain a little bit.
Who said something?
Who did? I know, of course, the equipment manager guy did. He was helping me put my pads. He was like, "What do you like? You can't wear the orange shirt." I'm like, honestly, I'm not gonna take it off, so we could just put the pads on and we can talk about it after the game. So I mean, he said something. I know some of the coaches a little bit kind of had was like, "They're like, what made you wear the orange?" Or just talking about that. But I mean, it wasn't nothing too serious.
Well, see, that's interesting there because, like, you've obviously been a great teammate, and Matt Eberflus talked about how since he's come here, you've done everything that he has asked, and he hopes you get paid. The coach said that he likes being a part of it when players get rewarded, and he wants that to happen for you. But at the same time, when you start to have a little bit more of an edge and show a little more flair and have that, like, can it rub some coaches and players the wrong way? It seems like that's a balance you got to walk a little bit.
Can it rub them the wrong? I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like anything can rub anybody the wrong way. I think if you don't understand the person, if you don't know the person, and I think for me, I think around the building, I think everybody has a good grasp on who I am as a person, and everybody knows that I'm one of the most humblest guys on the team. If it's anybody that is low key, that keeps their head out of trouble, that lifts everybody up, that is a great teammate, it's me. So I mean, if it's me wearing an orange long sleeve in the game, and me having the pearl necklace and pearl earrings, and on all of a sudden rub somebody the wrong way, I think that's within themselves. I don't think that has anything to do with me, and I would never change anything that I'm trying to do if I'm trying to tap into my fashion side, or if I want to be expressive in a certain way. I mean, I feel like if anything, it's about time, because I mean, I've always been low key. I drive the most regular car in the lot. I mean, I have a 2022 black Honda like Accord. Like, I mean, it's not. I'm not one of those guys. And it's like, even if I do get paid and get some money, and I want to show some expression, I think that's only fair. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, that's what I think anybody would do. But I mean, of course, everybody knows my heart. Everybody knows where I come from. And so, I mean, if I want to show out a little bit, or embrace, in a sense, the blessing that God gave me, I don't think anything's wrong with that. And I wouldn't change because somebody is uncomfortable with me being more expressive, considering that I feel like I've been true to myself. I've been true to everybody around me, and everybody knows what I'm about.
Well, that's one place where I do got you, Jaylon. I drive a 2024 Honda CRV. So how about that?
Yeah. So I think I'm still with an orange long sleeve and pearl earrings and necklaces.
Yeah, I listen. I'm still some pearl necklaces away from you, no question.
But that's a great answer. That's a great answer.
It really is,
because like, you know your character, and you trust that your coworkers and your bosses know your character. You know. So yeah.
Two more things, Jaylon, that we wanted to ask you about. You mentioned since the Kansas City game. What about the defense since the Kansas City game? You've been one of the top 10 defenses in the NFL since then. I could point to Eberflus taking over. I could point to a couple of guys coming back. I could point to the caliber of opponents, but you're there. Can you explain it to me? What has changed the last 3 games that it took your defense from being, frankly, one of the 2 or 3 worst in the NFL to one of the 10 best in the NFL?
I feel like playing with nothing to lose. I think being attacking, and I think really just, I mean, when you go and you get beat the way we were beat those first couple games, I think it just put a bad taste in our mouth, but that paid off for us. I think at the end of the day, it's one of those things where we got to do some gut checking, and it was one of those things that guys, of course, like you said, some guys went out and then guys ended up coming back. But I think just from the top down, I think we've been playing a lot more aggressive. We've been, I feel like, on the attack more so than just kind of a bend but don't break. But it's like, no, we're going to get after guys. We're going to go and we're going to challenge. We're going to blitz. We're going to run. We're going to hit. So, I mean, just the attitude for us, I think, has just been more so about going and making plays and going and being aggressive and making people actually feel us, and just being more attacking, more on the go. And I think it's been on display. I feel like these last few weeks, and we just got to keep going and keep creating turnovers. And I think with the sacks, the pressures, and the turnovers, everything has just been increasing. And I think for us, it's just about the attitude that we've had.
You had a corner blitz, didn't you? That ended up being a running play, and then you cut it back and made a great ankle tackle on that running play. That was you blitzing. You got one.
I ain't gonna lie to you, that I wasn't supposed to do that. I wasn't supposed to do that. I was entirely instinctual, just like, I don't think they're gonna pass, and I'm gonna kind of come off this edge real quick right here. And I ended up getting into a play. So I mean, it was funny. I talked to my coach about it, and it was like, yeah, it wasn't designed that way, but it ended up working out. So,
My God. You were on one yesterday.
You were.
Wearing orange, taking off your helmet, getting penalties, getting pick sixes, paying them. That was amazing. All right. Well, so this is the thing. I'm sure you're aware of what we've been talking about basically all day, other than, advocating for you to get a contract and the pick six and everything. Yeah. We've been talking about Tyson Bagent. We got a quarterback controversy on our hands here. Jaylon, how should we be handling this?
Tyson's my dog. Trust me and believe me, I love Tyson. I'm a big fan. I watched the documentary. I seen the records. I see him in practice. I see the confidence. I see the preparation. I've called after practice with him. I've helped him out any way I can, challenged him in practice. but I don't think there's a quarterback controversy. Everybody knows I'm a big Justin fan. I'm all for Justin, all for everything that he's about, and I'm still a true believer. I think it's easy to say that, and of course we win, and offense looks good. I think it's different when I feel like you focus on control and doing certain things to I feel like make the game go good. And I think it started really with the run game. I think when you can control the game, and I think the time of possession wasn't even close. I think that just starts with being efficient on first and second down, running the ball, the right plays. But I feel like overall that was a true team effort, a true offensive effort. I feel like Owen did a heck of a job running. D4 went crazy in the run game, and Darren Arrington, he went crazy as well, making some big runs, some good runs, pushing the power. So I think the offense as a whole controlled the game and did what it needed to do to help a young quarterback like Tyson. And of course, he has the arm talent and things like that, but it's also a way for the team and for the OC to protect them. And I think for as far as Justin goes, I think you kind of try to give him the keys to the car, and at times he's going to bump the curve and things like that. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's something that I think are two different situations.
Man, that's as always a good answer from Jaylon Johnson. Well, we did bring some white chocolate in today to help celebrate Tyson Bagent's game because you said he had some white chocolate in him, and he showed it yesterday, right? So.
Yeah. No, yeah, you seen him hyping up the crowd after his run after the first down, man. I'm telling you, he got swag to him, man.
Jaylon, what's the question, Tanny? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry, man.
How was his rendition of Drake?
Oh, yes.
DJ was on this morning talking about how he would do Drake songs at the rookie.
That's right. Tyson rapped Drake songs, right? How's his Drake when he gets flowing? Any skills?
I forget what song he did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm having a big brain fart. I forget what song he did, but I ain't gonna lie to you. He did kill it. He wasn't even supposed to go, but he ended up going. Somebody else didn't want to go or wasn't prepared or something happened. He got up there and was like, "I'll do it," and then we were like, "Okay, like let's see what you gonna do." He ended up kind of rocking out. He had his hat backwards. I was like, "Okay, he got a little swag to him."